Hey everybody, it's Wednesday, April 9th, and it's been a while since I've made a video. A lot's been going on, but let me try and hit some of the highlights. So the house is, I guess, livable. We've moved, pretty much all of our stuff over, but I wanted to spend a couple minutes on this. So I talked to you previously about the sensor, the occupancy sensor switch that's right over there. So, when it senses movement, it turns on all of the recessed lights, which was great. But when the building inspector came by to do the final inspection to give us a TCO, or temporary certificate of occupancy, he's like, "Oh, you guys don't have fire rated protection over those lights, so they all have to come down, or you got to install something." And I was really ticked off because that could have been caught when he came to do the insulation inspection, because the lights were in at that point. So anyway, really mad about that, but this is life. So what do? Well, we did a little research online, and they sell a couple different products for addressing this. Now, you might wonder, what's the issue? Well, basically the ceiling in the garage is made up of 2 layers of 5/8 sheetrock, and that creates a firewall. So if there was a fire here in the garage, it wouldn't, spread as easily. There's probably a good hour or two of fire in here before it would spread up into the floor above it, which is a bedroom. But by cutting a hole in the ceiling, you've ruined the fire blocking capability. So you're supposed to have something there. If you're going to do recessed lights, you have to have something up on top to reestablish the fire block. Or you put flush mounted lights in the garage, like fluorescents or surface mounted lights. But because we cut a hole there, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot. Now, granted, the architect should have known about this and indicated as such on the plans. This isn't, I'd say the electrician probably should have known, but it's easy to blame. But we're here, and I got to keep the family safe. So what I want to do is show you what the 2 of the options for creating this barrier. One is this product here. I don't know who it's made by, but basically it's sheet metal, thick. I'd say it's pretty strong, and this would be installed on top of the recessed light. So you have this thing, this thing here, and then the recessed lights kind of sits inside of it. I'm going to grab a recessed housing fixture so you could see how that. All right, so I grabbed a recessed housing here. It's a pretty standard one, Home Depot. And they sit like this up in the ceiling. So basically how it would work, I'm going to show you here. Basically looking at, something like this, where it's going to fit inside there. The issue is that it's a pretty big box, and we'd have to cut out a lot, a big box in and around that area, and it's easier said than done. Also, we've got one light over there that's very close to plumbing, and in a few other areas that if we had to use this rigid box, it would be a big pain in the butt. Now, this is probably fine. Maybe we would have gone with this if we were doing this for the first time and rerouted the plumbing around it. I don't know. But there's another product here. It's made by, let's see, 10 Mat, and this is what we're using, what we decided to use. This is hold on, let me put the camera down here. So this is a 1 hour fire rated dome, whatever you call it. Fire rated recessed light cover. Okay, so let me show you what this looks like. Okay, so here it is. It's flexible, and it's the inside is made of some type of material where basically, you know, you're going to put this on top of the housing. Let me show you this. So you gotta, this basically sits right up on top, and you cut little slats here so it folds neatly over the rails. And the wires, you know, could go in through these little vent holes, and the vent holes are there for if you've got a light fixture that generates a lot of heat. You know, here we're using LEDs, so we don't really have, heat's really not a concern. So, you know, you can put the wires through here and hook it into the fixture. And what this does is, if the fire's really going in the garage, it'll come in, you know, through the LED trim, you know, that you see on the ceiling. It'll probably burn through that and then go into, you know, into the housing. And, you know, there are little holes here for, you know, clipping different things on. But, you know, the fire would probably come out here, or at least it would get really hot. And when it gets that hot and, you know, you get fire through there, this is made of a material that will expand and smother out the flame so it won't spread. And it'll do that for, you know, 1 hour. That's why it's rated for an hour. So this is going to provide that protection that, you know, we basically lost by cutting holes through the ceiling. So, I mean, pretty cool, kind of pricey. They're like, you know, $60 a piece. But hey, you know, if this is to protect the family, you got to do it. And it's code. I just wish we would have learned about this before now. All right, so we've got, you know, our work ahead of us here. The electricians are here cutting holes now. We, our method here is, you know, cut a box. Well, first, you know, take the trim down, and then bring the can portion of the light. You can see, you know, there. They took that down so they could see which side the electrical connection is being made to the housing. And then we're cutting a square through the ceiling on that side of it. And then, you know, the plan is basically to come in and take the thing that I showed you and put it up on top, and then bring the wires through it and hook it back up again. We got to get, you know, we got to do that, and I think they might actually be done with that part today. And then we will have the building inspector come back and see that it's all done. Then we got to put the sheetrock back up, spackle it all up, and then he's got to come back again and say and bless that before we get a TCO. So total pain in the butt, but that's it. Thanks, everybody.